Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial. It's your girl partner. So on this video I want to show you how to make this beautiful dress. It's a cold shoulder sleeve fitted dress with a slit of course at the back. Okay, so let's just get started. Here I have the fabric folded. First of all, I'm going to be cutting out the lower part of this dress, which is the skirt part, and it will be a pencil skirt. So the full length I'm working with is 63. So taking away half length of 17, I'm left with 46. Of course, with the extra allowance, I'll be adding to it, both at the hemming at the upper part and also at the lower part as well, 48. So I had to fold the fabric along the longer length because the African print comes by 45. So folding it by 45 is not going to give me my measurement. So I folded it along the longer length, okay? So here I already have it already folded out. So what I'll do now is just to mark. So I have my point here. I'm starting as my starting point, which is going to be my waistline. So at this, put in the waist measurement of 38. If I divide it by 4, I have 9.5. So with an extra 3 inches of allowance, then I'll come down to the hip line at 9. So I'll mark a straight line there. So at this hip line, I'm also going to put the hip measurement, which is 45 divided by 4. I have 11.25 plus the extra 3 inches of allowance. Then I'll take it from here, from the waist to the hip. Then to the lower part of the dress, I'm also going to put the hip measurement here. I'm dragging it down so that you can see this. So this is the marking for the end part of the dress. So I'll put in the hip measurement as well, which is 11.25 plus the extra 3 inches of allowance. So because I want it to be penciled, I'm going to come in back by 2 inches, 1.5 or 2 inches, but I will do 2 inches. So 2 inches now. I hope you understand. I put in the hip measurement, then I came in back by 2 inches so I can get that pencil shape. So I'll now take it from the hip all the way straight down. So I have this, so I'll just go ahead and cut this out. So I'll just fold this again so I can cut out for the back piece. So I have this placed over the back piece with a zipper allowance of 2 inch. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out. So I like to notch the lower part. And also here, just for the back piece and the front piece to notch the center. So here I will take the bust span measurement of 8 divided by 2, that's 4, plus half of an inch, that's 4.5. So I'll mark it. So for the dart, then at the hip here as well, let me trim. So also notch the hip line. So that's it. The skirt part of this dress is ready. You can see this. Here it is, the lower part. Okay, so it's that easy. So I'll just go ahead now and cut the upper part of the dress, which is the princess that cut. So in cutting out the front piece, I'll go ahead and mark my measurements. From top here to the chest line is at 9. The bust point is at 12, but I'm going to add half of an inch because of the shoulder joining, so I'll mark 12.5. The under bust is at 15 plus half inch for shoulder joining, so I'll mark 15.5. Then of course the half length is 17. Okay, but I like to add also extra allowances, okay, so that I can trim off at the end of the because of the breast cut joining. After that, there's tendency that there might be shortages at the front, so it's always good to have extra allowances so that you can always trim out the excesses instead of running into shortage. Okay, so I have this in place, so I'll go ahead and mark out that. Then I'll repeat the same process so I can get a perfect straight line. So I'll mark out the straight line. So here, the chest line, the bust points, the under bust, the waist, and some excesses to trim out. So I'll mark 8 inches here. I'll come down by 1 inch. Then here, 3 inches. So I can get my slope. So the shoulder of this person is 16 divided by 2. I have 8 inch, which is here already. I'll add extra half of an inch to that. So I have 8.5. So I'll repeat the same process here so I can get my angle 90. So at this point here, 8 divided by 2, 4. Get the center, come inwards by half of an inch. So I can get my front armhole. So I'm taking it this way. Okay. So here now I'm going to fix in the bust span measurement, which is 8. If I divide it by 2, I have 4 plus extra half of an inch, that's 4.5. So I'll come to this bust point line and mark 4.5. Then I'll come to the under bust and take away half inch. So I'll mark 4. Then I'll repeat the same process on the waistline and downwards. So I'll mark the straight line from the under bust to the waist. Then from the under bust, I connect it to the bust point. You can see. Then coming back to this armhole, I'm going to, for here on this chest line, put in my bust measurement, which is 38 divided by 4, that's 9.5. 9.5 here. So I will get the curve I have here from this slope point. I will take the armhole curve. And what do I have? 9.5. I will get the midpoint of this 9.5. And I have here 4.675 thereabouts. So I'll mark that as the midpoint. So from this midpoint I have gotten from my armhole, I'll connect it to my bust point here. You can see this. So I'll come back here and my under bust. In order to create my cup, I'm going to be using 2.5 inches here. Then the same thing on the waistline and downwards, 2.5 inches. Then to this bust point, I'll just take it from my under bust and connect it to my bust point to create my lower cup. You can see this. So I have my lower cup. Mind you, I use 2.5 because of the bust measurement. The bust measurement is 44. So 2.5 is ideal. Okay, if it was lower, I would have used 2 inches. So I used 2.5 here. So I'll come back here now. I'll take away half inch from these 2.5 inches I have, which is 2. That 2, I'll split it into 2, okay, and place it on this armhole point here. So from here, I'm going to mark 1 inch here, and from here, I also mark 1 inch here, okay? Yeah. So from this point of my bust point, I'll go up by 1 inch. Ordinarily, before I created my cup, I was supposed to go down by 1 inch as well. I could also correct that. So I should have taken it from this 1 inch below. It's almost the same thing. Just to give it a perfect curve, I came down 1 inch from this bust point line and connected it to the under bust, okay? So from this bust point line, I went up 1 inch, okay? Then I'm going to take it and connect it to these 2 points I have created, all right? Here and so I have created my cup. So I'll come to this inward line here. I'll extend it to 1.5 inches or 2 inches because of the armhole joining. So from this line here, I'll extend it to say 2 inches. I will extend the line so you can see this. The cup has been created, okay? So I'll now come here now fixing all my measurements. So at the chest line, I've already marked my bust measurements at 9.5. These 2 lines here, I took the measurement here to get the slope, so I had to put it back here, okay? Then I added my extra 3 inches of allowance. So coming down to this, the under bust, I'll fix in the measurement here. I have the 8 divided by 4, that's 9.5. So I'll mark it there. Then the that I have here, which is 2.5, I'm also going to input it back here, 2.5. Then also an extra 3 inches of allowance. So I'm going to take this straight down. So I'll go ahead and connect my lines. Okay. So from here now, this line, I'll create my new armhole. So I'll connect it from here to the chest line. It's as easy as that, okay? So here, that's it. So what is left now is to fix in my neckline, okay? So the neckline I'm working with, I'll do 4 inches for the neck width, 4 inches. Then for the neck depth, I'll do 6 inches. Neck width of 4 inches, neck depth of 6 inches. So I'm going to give it a curve shape. Okay, so that's it. So I'll go ahead and cut it all out. So you can see here, I have my princess bustier cuts ready. So I'll go ahead and cut for the back piece. I have my zipper allowance of 2 inch. And also go ahead and take note of my measurements. The chest line at 9, the bust point at 12.5 plus half inch because of the shoulder joining, that's 13. The under bust at 15 plus half inch shoulder joining, that's 15.5. Then the waistline at 18, then some extra allowances in order to trim out from I'll go ahead and convert this to a straight line. So from here, I'll mark the 3 by 8 inches to get my shoulder slope. At this 8 inches mark, I'm coming down by 1 inch. Connect it to the 3 inches mark. So the shoulder is 16 divided by 2, that's 8 plus half inch, that's 8.5. So here I put in the bust measurement at 9.5. Then from here I get the midpoint so I can get my back armhole. So from here, what I have in my cup is 9. So I get the center, I have 4.5. I'll take note of that. Then I'll come here, having in mind here is the chest line, the bust point, the under bust, and the waist. Then at this bust point, I'll put my bust point measurement. Remember, we are marking from the zipper allowance. 8 divided by 2 for the bust point, that's 4. Plus half inch, that's 4.5. Then the under bust, take away half inch, that's 4. Repeat the same process to the waistline. Connect from the under bust to the bust point. Then from this bust point to this midpoint we have at the armhole. It's as easy as that. Okay, so we have created our princess that. Okay, so I'll just come here and extend it to 2 inches just like we did for the front piece. So here now I can now put in my other measurements. We already have the bust measurements here. So the bust is 11.25, sorry, plus extra 3 inch. Okay, then the waistline 9.5 plus extra 3 inch. I'll just take it down. So here there's no dart created. Okay, so at this back piece now, fixing my neckline. Remember, we are using the neck width of 4. So for the back, I'll do I'll say 5 or 4.5. So I'll just give it a cup shape. So that's it, guys. Like, we're done. The only thing left now is to cut this out. But before that, at this my armhole, I have to connect this to my bust measurement to create my new armhole. I need to extend this neckline to the zipper line. So I cut my neckline here. So you can see this. This is the back piece and also the front piece. Okay, so here it is. So the next thing I will do now is to cut the sleeve, which is the cold shoulder sleeve. So the sleeve length I'm working with is 13 inches. I have this folded into 4 because I want to cut out both for the 2 sleeves. Okay, so I'll take note of the length of the sleeve. I want it to be at 13. Then I'm going to add allowances joining at the shoulder and also hemming at the lower part. So I'll add extra 3 inch to that. Because I want the folding at the lower part to really go inwards with the lining. So here I'll fix in um, the calf height. For an average person, I usually work with 4 or 4.5, but here I'll use 4.5. The armhole measurement at 10 was extra 1 inch, that's 11. I have a video on how to create a basic sleeve, very detailed, easy to understand. You can also go ahead and watch it. I'll link it up in the description box. So from here, I'll connect it to this point and get a slant, after which I'll get the center. It's a very good way of getting a perfect shape for the sleeve cup. So I'll take it from here as if I'm creating an inverted S to this midpoint, then come out this way. You might also like to take note of what you have here. We have about 13, which is okay. I'm sure it will definitely fit on the armhole there. Okay, so I'll come here and take note of the bicep, call it at 7. The biceps at 7, and I have the round sleeve for that is 14 divided by 2, that's 7. Then I'll also add extra 1.5 inch allowance to that. Then on the lower part as well, the round sleeve there will be 13 divided by 2, that's 6.5. Then I'll also add an extra 1.5 inch of allowance. I'll just make it add extra half inch as well. So that's it. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So before that, in order to create my cold shoulder effect on this armhole now, I will go depending on how wide you want it to be. So I'll go inwards by from this center point. I'm coming inwards here. Let's say 2 inches. You can always start with a lower number. So when you split it open and you see that it's too small, you can choose to also increase it. So I'm doing 2 inches here. Remember, when you split it open, it becomes 4. So 2 inches at this point. Then the depth of the opening, I'll do say let's say 4 inches. Let's say 4 inches. I might still extend this anyway. Let's just work with these 2 inches. So I'll create my curve here. I hope you understand. From this point, I went here by 2 inches. From here, I came down 4 inches. So I'm just connecting it together. Just creating a curve. You can see this. So I'm going to be cutting this out. So this is my cold shoulder effect. So first of all, cut the sleeve. So I'll go ahead and cut the cold shoulder effect as well. So here it is. This is okay. I might come down a bit by half of an inch. I think I would like to come down half of an inch because if I sew it with lining, it's still going to come down again. So I'll just like to go down by half of an inch. I think this is okay. So yeah, this is okay for me. So that's it, guys, on how to create this coat shoulder sleeve. So what I'm going to do now is just to cut the same piece I have here for the lining. I'm also going to cut out the lining and everything, both the sleeve and the top part, the skirt part. Okay, after that, and join the piece together. Okay, is that easy? This actually a simple dress. Okay, this is actually a very very simple one, as you can see. Okay, so that's it, guys, on how to cut this beautiful dress. And we have come to the end of today's tutorial. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you find this helpful, please go ahead and like, share, and also if you have not subscribed, please do that as well. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you again. Till I see you on the next video. Have a beautiful day.